How to apply and participate in CACFP. What is CACFP anyway? CACFP is the Child and Adult Care Food Program. This federal program supports and provides funding for healthy meals and snacks served to children and adults receiving daycare. It plays an important role in improving the quality of daycare and ensuring access to adequate nutrition. It also makes both more affordable for families. In Idaho, the CACFP program is administered by the Idaho State Department of Education, SDE, Child Nutrition Programs, CNP, with funds from the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA. CACFP provides reimbursement for eligible meals served to participants who meet age and income requirements. Meals served by participating institutions and facilities must meet minimum guidelines set by the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA. By agreeing to participate, institutions must accept final administrative and financial responsibility for the operation of CACFP according to federal and state laws, regulations, and policies. What is an institution? An institution in CACFP is a sponsoring organization or independent center which enters into an agreement with a state agency to assume final administrative and financial responsibility for CACFP operations. The following types of centers, daycare homes, and organizations may be eligible to participate in CACFP. At-risk after-school care centers, adult daycare centers, child care centers, emergency shelters, Head Start programs, outside school hour care centers, sponsoring organizations of daycare homes, and sponsoring organizations of centers. Who can receive benefits from CACFP? Part 226.2 of Chapter 7 of the Code of Federal Regulations describes who may receive CACFP meal benefits. Children means persons age 12 or under, persons age 15 or under who are children of migrant workers, persons of any age who have one or more disabilities as determined by the state and who are enrolled in an institution or child care facility serving a majority of persons who are age 18 or under. For emergency shelters, persons age 18 or under, and for at-risk after-school care centers, persons age 18 or under at the start of the school year. Adult participant means a person enrolled in an adult daycare center who is functionally impaired or 60 years of age or older. The adult component of CACFP is targeted to individuals who reside in the community in their own home with or without family members or in a group living arrangement that is not a residential care facility. A functionally impaired adult means chronically impaired disabled persons 18 years of age or older, including victims of Alzheimer's disease and related disorders with neurological and organic brain dysfunction who are physically or mentally impaired to the extent that their capacity for independence and their ability to carry out activities of daily living is markedly limited. Activities of daily living include, but are not limited to, adaptive activities such as cleaning, shopping, cooking, taking public transportation, maintaining a residence, caring appropriately for one's grooming or hygiene, using telephones and directories, or using a post office. Marked limitations refer to the severity of impairment and not the number of limited activities and occur when the degree of limitation is such as to seriously interfere with the ability to function independently. The definition of a group living arrangement is residential communities which may or may not be subsidized by federal, state, or local funds, but which are private residencies housing an individual or a group of individuals who are primarily responsible for their own care and who maintain a presence in the community, but who may receive on-site monitoring. Individuals who reside in institutions are not eligible for CACFP benefits. For daycare homes only, in order to participate in the program, family daycare homes must be licensed or approved through federal, state, or local authorities to provide care for children in the home in Idaho. This is under the following regulation number 7 CFR 226.18a. In addition, family daycare homes may only participate in CACFP under the sponsorship of a sponsoring organization of daycare homes. Each family daycare home must sign an agreement with a sponsoring organization. Sponsors are responsible for training, monitoring, and reimbursing daycare providers for meals and snacks provided to children in their care. Providers may be reimbursed for up to 2 meals and 1 snack, or 2 snacks and 1 meal for each enrolled child per day. To understand some of the terms in the Child and Adult Day Care Program, an institution in CACFP is a sponsoring organization or an independent center which enters into a single permanent agreement with the state agency to assume final administrative and financial responsibility for program operations. The agreement must be maintained by both the Idaho State Department of Education, or SDE, and the institution for the entire time the institution operates in CACFP under SDE and for 3 years thereafter. In addition, institutions may not contract out for management of CACFP and shall provide adequate supervisory and operational personnel for management and operating of CACFP. An independent center, IC, may be a single child care center, Head Start center, at-risk after-school care center, outside school hours care center, emergency shelter, or adult daycare center. Centers may participate in the CACFP as independent centers or under the auspice of a sponsoring organization. A sponsoring organization is a public or nonprofit private organization that is entirely responsible for the administration of CACFP in 1 or more daycare homes, any child care center, emergency shelter, at-risk after-school care center, outside school hours care center, or adult day care center, which is a legally distinct entity from the sponsoring organization as referred to as an unaffiliated center. 2 or more centers that are part of the same legal entity as the sponsoring organization, also referred to as an affiliated center, or any combination of affiliated or unaffiliated centers and or daycare homes. If the sponsoring organization is a for-profit, the organization may only administer CACFP in centers that are part of the same legal entity as the sponsoring organization, or affiliated centers. In order to participate in the program, child care centers must be licensed or approved through federal, state, or local authorities to provide care for 13 or more children in a center in Idaho. The center may be a for-profit or a nonprofit organization. Nonprofit organizations must have a 501c3 approved under the IRS Code of 1986 and have a community-based board of directors. For-profit centers must have at least 25% or more of enrolled children eligible for free or reduced-priced meals. Child care centers may claim reimbursement in CACFP for up to 2 meals and 1 snack, or 1 meal and 2 snacks for each enrolled child per year. To be eligible for reimbursement, an after-school care program must follow the criteria listed on this slide. At-risk after-school care centers must be located in an eligible attendance area of an elementary, middle, or high school in which at least 50% of the enrolled children are certified eligible for free or reduced-priced school meals. The center may operate after school, on non-school days, weekends, and holidays during the school year, and may serve 1 meal and 1 snack per child per day. The meal may be served anytime during the after-school program, from right after school to later in the evening. Centers that operate on non-school days during the school year, the meal may be either breakfast, lunch, or supper. The after-school care program must provide education or enrichment activities in an organized, structured, and supervised environment. The program must be open to all and may not limit participation for reasons other than space, licensing, or security considerations. Although there are no specific requirements for the types of educational and enrichment activities that a program can offer, examples include, but are not limited to, arts and crafts, homework assistance, life skills, remedial education, organized fitness activities, etc. Note: there is no requirement that all children receiving meals participate in the offered activities. Academic clubs such as Math Club or Foreign Language Club are not eligible for this program. An at-risk after-school care center may not claim snacks or meals during summer vacation unless it is located in the attendance area of a school operating on a year-round calendar. For at-risk after-school sites in schools that participate in the National School Lunch Program, NSLP, SDE may conduct a pre-approval visit before approving the school district's application packet. For at-risk after-school sites in schools that participate in NSLP, there is no requirement to complete or submit a budget for the application process. Emergency shelters must be a public or private nonprofit and may participate either as an independent center or under the sponsorship of an organization. Eligible emergency shelters may receive reimbursement for serving up to 3 meals each day to children including teenagers 18 and under. All eligible meals are reimbursed at the free rate, and the meals must be served in a congregate group meal service setting. The participants may not take the meals back to their temporary residence at the shelter. CACFP regulations do not require emergency shelters, at-risk after-school care centers, or outside school hours care centers, OSHCCs, to be licensed. However, they must meet state or local health and safety standards. If a site is exempt from Idaho licensing code, it must receive and pass, per Idaho code, an annual health inspection from their local health department and an annual fire inspection from their local fire department. These will then be uploaded into the state agency application and claiming system when applying for or renewing an application. Institutions must submit information sufficient to document that it is financially viable, administratively capable of operating CACFP, and has internal controls in effect to ensure accountability. If you are a new institution, you must demonstrate in the application that you are capable of operating in conformance with the performance standards set forth through federal regulations. SDE must only approve the applications of those new institutions that meet the performance standards and deny the applications of the new institutions that do not meet the standards. For child care centers and all other institutions, here are 5 steps necessary to complete the application process. After a potential applicant contacts SDE to determine initial eligibility, the applicant must successfully complete the steps in the application process to become an institution in CACFP. SDE will enter into written permission agreements with institutions that complete the application process. The agreement between the institution and SDE authorizing the institution to operate CACFP must be maintained by both parties. Each year, the institution must renew its application and all site applications on the Child Nutrition Program's online application and claiming system, My Idaho CNP. This information is also available on the CACFP page of the SDE website under Resource Files, Handbooks, and Manuals. Let's go over the 5-step application process. After a potential applicant contacts SDE to determine initial eligibility, the applicant must successfully complete the following steps in the application process to become an institution in CACFP. Step 1. Fiscal resources and financial history. A new institution must demonstrate that it has adequate financial resources to operate CACFP on a daily basis while continuing to pay employees and suppliers during periods of possible interruptions to CACFP payments and/or paid debts when fiscal claims have been assessed to the institution. A new institution must submit their most current 3 years of financial records, including U.S. income tax returns, income, profit or loss statements, balance sheets, and cash flow statements. Note: Step 1 is waived for current NSLP and SFSP sponsors applying for at-risk after-school sites for CACFP. If your center or organization is new, or has changed ownership and does not have 3 years of financial records, then you must submit actual financial records for the current time in business, and the remaining 3 years information must be submitted as projections. If you are not yet ready to take on the responsibilities of a sponsor, or if you are a daycare home provider, your program can operate as a participating site under a sponsor. This allows your program to benefit from CACFP assistance under the oversight of a more experienced organization. For a center, it is also an effective way to prepare for becoming a sponsor in future years. Sponsors are responsible for recruiting, training, monitoring, and reimbursing their facilities. To apply as a participating facility, complete the CACFP information request form located on the SDE CACFP website or call 208-332-6821. Once all documentation is received by SDE, it is submitted to a financial consultant for review and approval. The applicant will be notified by SDE when the process has been completed or if additional information is needed to determine financial viability. Step 2. Required documents for application packet. My Idaho CNP is the SDE's online application and claiming system. This is where a new institution will enter claim information for reimbursement each month as a sponsoring organization or as an independent center. This is also where the institution will update application packet information each year. An institution's application for either an independent center, sponsoring organization of centers, or sponsoring organization of daycare homes is set up in My Idaho CNP by SDE. In order to set up the application packet in My Idaho CNP, SDE will need the following information from the applicant: Startup Application Form, My Idaho CNP User Authorization Form, IRS Form W-9, and, if a nonprofit, a copy of your 501c3. The SDE will provide the application and authorization forms. The startup application form and documents can be sent via email or USPS. Once the required documents are received and reviewed, applicants will be notified that this is done. Then, the applicant must log in to My Idaho CNP and complete the sponsor and site application prior to SDE assigning the required CACFP training. Step 3. Complete the required training. The applicant's key administrative staff will complete assigned New Center online training modules and email or mail each training certificate to SDE. Key administrative staff includes director or owner of the institution program contact, and financial or business manager if applicable. The training is available online in SDE's training portal. The state agency will give access to the CNP training portal once Step 2 is completed in the application process. Here is a list of available training modules that must be completed. Once SDE receives all training certificates, applicants will be notified to begin Step 4. The training modules include application process and annual updates, claim records and process to submit a claim, financial management and budget requirements, infant, child, and adult meal pattern, menu and production records, serious deficiency process, civil rights, eligibility determination and enrollment requirements, income eligibility forms, meal service requirements, procurement requirements, and sponsoring organization monitoring process. Step 4. Complete application packet. The institution will need to sign in to My Idaho CNP to complete the application packet with the required documentation that is done online in the packet. The required documentation includes sponsor application, board of directors, sponsor management plan, application packet notes, civil rights information, sponsor budget detail, checklist, attachment list, and site or provider applications. Additional documents that new applicants must submit to SDE in addition to completing the application packet in My Idaho CNP includes 1 week of completed meal records production or detailed menu records, 1 month of planned menus, budget workbook, food service contract if meals are contracted from a food service management company, school district, or other vendor, USDA foods or cash in lieu preference form, signed and dated CNP permanent agreement, and 1 blank enrollment form currently being used by the institution. These documents will be uploaded and submitted in My Idaho CNP as part of the attachment list. Each of these documents must be attached separately. Here is an example of what the screen will look like in My Idaho CNP, where documents are attached and uploaded. Note that the Submit for Approval button will not light up until all forms are completed. Items are attached on the checklist, and the additional application documents are uploaded on the attachment list. Once the packet is submitted for approval, SDE coordinators will review the application for completion and for compliance with regulations and policies. Further information or clarification may be requested, which must be received within 30 days after submitting the initial application packet. Once SDE determines the application is complete, SDE will move forward with Step 5. Step 5. Pre-approval visit. Any new private, nonprofit, and proprietary child care institutions must receive this pre-approval visit by SDE to confirm the information on the application and to further assess its ability to manage CACFP. The visit will be scheduled within 15 days of SDE determining the application packet is complete. During the pre-approval visit, SDE will review up to 1 month of menu records that have been completed by the institution before the initial visit to validate the first claim for reimbursement. Institutions must implement all meal and record-keeping requirements prior to the visit, or the approval of the application will be delayed or denied. The pre-approval visit includes determination that institute is viable for type and number of meals requested for approval, meal observation to ensure food components, serving sizes, and meal service meet CACFP meal pattern, confirmation of CACFP records and systems, compliance assessment of civil rights requirements, check for implementation of management plan as submitted, and technical assistance as needed to improve program quality. If corrective action is required from the pre-approval visit, the corrective action must be submitted within 10 days of the pre-approval visit. Once the pre-approval visit is completed and any corrective action is received by SDE, the new institution will be notified via email when the packet is approved. If approved, the Director of Child Nutrition Programs, CNP, will sign the permanent agreement and send a copy to the applicant. In addition, SDE will provide the institution with technical assistance on submitting monthly claims through My Idaho CNP. If the packet is not approved by SDE, SDE will notify the institution within 30 calendar days of receipt of a complete application that the packet was not approved. This notice will be via certified mail, and the notice will provide the reasons for disapproval and the rights to appeal. While SDE makes every effort to help a new applicant fulfill the necessary requirements to participate in CACFP, the ultimate responsibility for submitting all required application materials lies with the applicant. Applicants must complete this process within 6 months of the date they completed training. If the applicant fails to complete this training within the 6-month period, the applicant's application will be denied and the applicant will be required to repeat the process from the beginning. Thank you for your participation in this training. The SDE looks forward to assisting you with your application.